hopefully we don't have any issues with buffering and stuff today. If we do, I can't have any control over it. It is YouTube. I completely got a new modem and everything, which nothing was wrong with my previous one, but I lied and told the company that it was overheating just in case, and still was not, prevented anything. So we're just at YouTube's mercy. Also, make sure you guys subscribe if you are not already, and make sure you are subscribed, because on top of going around and demonetizing creators, YouTube's been on its not notifying people of stuff, and then also unsubscribing people again. I don't know why they do that. I just saw this morning like 5 channels that I'm subscribed to that I watch every single week. I was unsubscribed to out of nowhere, so I had to go back and resubscribe to them, even though they were on my recommended, which was weird. So, hey Lorna, hey San, hi Hannah, hi Lindsay, hi Ronette, hi Ronnie. How are you guys? And for the replay crew, thank you for tuning in later, and I'm sorry that you weren't able to make it with us, but we appreciate the views later on. And for those who could make it, I appreciate you for being here. So I got my commenting privileges back. I just kept trying to comment, and because the little thing says, did we make a mistake? Tell us. So I just kept doing that. And then this morning they let me comment again. So I was like, well, Carlos, your worst nightmare is back. And yes, if you do go to follow me on Instagram.com/psychicbellalove, that is me. I have a picture. It's a little heart of me and Kanye's pictures together. I had to do it in a heart to get it to fit into the profile picture for Instagram. But I was like, I'm going to troll you now. Hey Can, hey Donna, hi Ashley, hi Dope Girl Planet, hi Carson. And you know what, like, I've gotten so many messages from people saying that they got restricted or their whole pages taken down from that one post. It was all like that one same post too. That was crazy. And they were all like, this was the least worst thing I've ever said about her too. Like, none of us, it's all people that usually would drag her, but for some reason, like, we didn't go as hard as we usually do on that post. But we all know Carlos is insecure. Carlos has been about to, try to, like, she thinks that if she goes after everybody that has criticisms of her or doesn't like her, like, she can force us to like her. You can't force people to like you, boo-boo. And I purposely wore my Biggie shirt today too, because I was like, we're celebrating people who actually can rap. I'm gonna change my picture to me and Nikki next week, and guess what? I blocked off some time on next Wednesday, since that's October 11th and the day that she claims that she was born. And we're going to throw her a birthday party on my backup channel. So I'll post the links next week. Make sure that you are following the community tab and me on Instagram, because I always post the links in my Instagram stories. So, yes, I have 2 pages, Psychic Bella Love and Bella Love Official. That's my backup page. Anything else isn't me. So, we're gonna just celebrate. We're gonna have a great old time. So, as a Libra, there's no way she is one, and I'll always say this. Dude, seriously, that's how I always feel. I'm like, I don't know Libras. Like, this is the thing about Libras, okay? we don't like a bunch of like conflicts. Like, we're entertained by other people's drama. Like, don't get me wrong. We will sit there and eat our popcorn and laugh while Taylor Swift and Kim Kardashian go back and forth with each other on Twitter or whatever, you know, but we don't want drama in our own lives. We certainly don't like to get on the internet and or just in real life. Like, if you make a Libra have to like flip out on you, trust and believe that we've been holding ourselves back for years. And we will probably cry afterwards because we get even more mad that somebody made us like step outside of like our normal like chill demeanor and have to be mean and nasty. So it's just like when she just wants to sit there and get in fights with people constantly and constantly complain and bitch and everything, I'm like, that's not like normal Libra behavior, especially because two Libras, like, we're like the kings and queens of being like, everything's fine, you know, when it's not, but we're like sitting there crying on the inside, putting a smile on the outside because we don't want to like burden people. There's no way that this girl is a Libra. She was born on a full moon though. Wait, oh, she has an Aries moon. Well, that makes sense because that Mars triggering her emotional self energy. I don't know, I got a Virgo moon, so I'm even more like, let's just just back away from this. Like, I'll be petty, but I don't want to have to like fight you. So Carlos could put all that energy into her music. We don't want any more music from her. Yeah, she put all that energy into cleaning her house. Like, just leave us alone. You know what? Most of the like Cancers that I know, like in real life, are not crybabies. They're usually actually pretty logical. I think that's just, you know, they get a bad rap. The same way that Geminis get a bad rap too, where, you know, I always say like Geminis are just very like intuitive people and they're always picking up on the energy around them. So I always say, like, if a Gemini starts being like crazy to you, what did you do? Or what were your intentions that Gemini picked up on and was like, now I have to react, because Geminis can be very reactive. So usually, honestly, the signs that I see that are the most emotional are usually Aquariuses. So, I mean, not Ronette, but every other Aquarius that I've come across, they kind of like are more like what people describe Cancers as being more emotional type people. So, but oh my goodness, yes, and I'm still pissed as hell that Off Cheat wants to drop his album that nobody wants to listen to on my birthday. I'm just like, between you cosplaying Michael Jackson and then dropping your garbage music on my birthday, like, just come to my house and tell me that you're outside and let's fight. Because at this point, I'm just like, it's just like taking a personal like dig at me, and like, we could go scuffle in the parking lot. I don't care. I'll fight a man. After I just got done saying Libras don't fight, I'm like, but that's my Italian side that comes out. So, also, I would like to challenge Carlos to a DNA test. Let's both take them. You have to actually take it yourself. You can't get Bianca to take it for you. Cough, cough, Tasha K's lawsuit, cough, cough, allegedly. And then when we get our results back, and we see how much percentage of African each one of us are, I would like for you to explain to the people why it's okay for you to say the things that you do, but if I said those same things, I would be dragged down the street, because I guarantee you I probably got more African ancestry and DNA than she does. Or at the very least, it's equal. So let's do that. Because I don't think that somebody that can say that they're like 5% African has the right to go around saying all the shit that they do. Because there's plenty of white people all over the world that got that much African in them. And guess what? It's not okay for them to talk that way. So it ain't for you either, Carlos. There's not special rules for you. So... Jacoby, not a spelling bee. Remember when 50 Cent challenged Floyd Mayweather to reading a book online out loud? Imagine, you guys, that would be a really great little, like, not on like mainstream TV, but that would actually be like a good like reality show challenge competition or something. Make people like Carlos and Floyd Mayweather have to read books out loud. Have a book club and make them give them hard books to read too. Like, no Cat in the Hat shit. You gotta really, like, we need you to read War and Peace and have a book club discussion about this. Or like some other book that's just as hard but does not have a movie version, and they're not allowed to even try to read the Cliff Notes, although I guarantee you Carlos still couldn't even read and understand the Cliff Notes. So she can't even spell her real name and can barely even pronounce it. Well, if Carlos can say the N-word, so can Scum. Oh my God, right? Which, by the way, guys, I posted about this yesterday in Patreon, because there was a story yesterday on Yahoo News about Kim starting some private equity investment firm, and she teamed up with the guy that represents the Carlyle Group. This is the same guy that backed Scooter Braun in all of his recent label and Masters acquisitions. And so I was like, oh, are we gonna have a renewed Taylor and Kim beef now? After they finally put it behind them, or is that gonna start up again? Because she's gonna be like, how could you do this and work with those people? They're bad people, the way that she was saying when it happens. So, hi, Black Girl Reviews. Welcome. Oh my God. It does sound like a Harry Potter curse. I do think that's funny when I see people say that. Did you see him on stage still joking about Diddle Bob's parties? Listen, 50 will never get off of Diddy's neck. Like that's how 50 is though. Like, once he falls out with your ass, he's gonna drag you forever. Like, it's funny. I'd be laughing my ass off when he does that. She'll end up in Nocturne Alley every time she mispronounces her own name. I don't know what that is, because I've never watched any of the Harry Potter stuff, but it sounds funny. You know, Taylor is starting to get hate from the football bros. I heard that they said that, like, the NFL kept, like, panning the camera over to her, like, and was, like, kind of more, like, focused on, like, oh, look at what Taylor's doing in the stands, than they were, like, at the actual game, and, like, that was, like, upsetting people. So that's funny. But they also did say that they had like the highest viewership for that like game that she was at than they've had for or since like the Super Bowl. And I was just like, now see, all these little white girls that were all excited about pumpkin spice season are all gonna suddenly be watching football because Taylor's at the games. I mean, and she helped them get a whole bunch of visibility and a new fan base. If I was really like, oh my God, I want a bunch of attention on me, I'd probably want Taylor Swift to be involved somehow or another too, because she does bring attention and the views and she'll get you talked about, good or bad. All the Swifties are like home run, right? I can imagine when they get a goal and them being like, I thought this was football, not soccer though. Why are they getting a goal? That doesn't make sense. Diddy got pulled over in Miami for playing his album in a golf cart that nobody cares about. Did you guys listen to that album? It's so crazy because he put everybody and their grandma on it and was like hyping it up like it was going to be the best thing ever. And I have not heard. I just saw a couple people say it sucked. A bunch of other people say that they haven't listened to it yet. And then nobody has talked about it at all since. And I forgot that he even put it out until you said that right now, Hannah. And I was like, oh, I never listened to it either. I did intend to at one point, but I completely forgot it existed. Which also, I had a question for you guys. Because I was thinking, you know, because obviously Drake is supposed to drop. Is it next week? Or is it, I forget what day he is dropping, because people were like, you know, the fact that Drake is also dropping is not going to bode well for Off Cheat releasing his. And I was just thinking about how Drake had that house music album that sort of came and went, and, you know, everybody was like, oh, this is garbage, and then never discussed it ever again. Does he even perform those songs like at his concerts? Or does he just pretend like that era didn't happen? Because all the videos that I've seen of him, like, at any concerts recently, it's like, you know, he was performing the songs from the album that he put out with 21 Savage, or like his, you know, previous hits. But I haven't seen anybody say anything, or I haven't seen any performances of that. Oh, okay, he drops tonight / tomorrow. All right. I'm on the West Coast, so I was like, you know, we get access to things at 9 p.m. But then when we wake up in the morning, like, even I get up between 4:30 and 5 o'clock every morning, and I still feel like I'm like way behind the rest of the world, because just checking the news, like, a bunch of stuff has already happened. He went from Azalea Banks music to 21 Savage music. He is so confused. I know. I'm excited for the Nicki feature too. I wouldn't be surprised if Drake doesn't put out a country album at some point. Because we all know Drake, you know, has 100 personalities and identities. So I would not be at all shocked if that's not like the next thing that he's planning on doing. Also, are you guys gonna go watch the Renaissance movie in theaters and put on all your silver outfits to do it? Carson, you know he's not gonna do that. People barely buy his fake gangster act as it is. They're really not going to if he comes out the closet. $28 visuals. Is that how much the tickets are going to be? $28 to see this in the theater? I'll catch it on 1, 2, 3 movies in like a month. Is that like one of those you can go see bootleg movies on sites? I feel like stuff goes to streaming so quickly these days anyways. I mean, I'm an 80s baby, So I really remember like growing up, like if you didn't see a movie in the theater, you were gonna have to wait like a full freaking year for it to come out on a VHS. So nowadays it's like, oh, it was in the theater for a week and now you can stream it somewhere. And then, 2 months after that, you're probably going to get it on Netflix or HBO Max or somewhere else, anyways. So, and I don't know, I just feel like going to the movies is kind of just not really worth it these days, anyways. Teddy, same. I've fallen asleep anytime I've tried to watch them either. You still have your Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles VHS? I don't have any VHSs anymore, but it's like I think by the time that like I even had my own TV, that was like the era where the very first like DVD players started being more common. And then my ex-husband, who was just my boyfriend at the time, bought me a DVD player. So I don't think I really ever really had VHSs. At least not my own, like obviously my family did when I was growing up. Waiting for Nikki's doc anyways, and it's gotta be like hours long. I know. You know what? Well, this is the only thing I'm gonna say about Nikki, and then join us on patreon.com/psychicbellalove. And they updated the app. It looks really cool now. Me and Kanye's pictures are my profile picture on there. Because I changed that shit everywhere that I could yesterday just to troll. I just didn't over here because I was like, YouTube's being so like coming down so hard on people that I just didn't want to risk it right now. But since AMP is basically shutting down, which is crazy because AMP has sent me a bazillion emails offering me or trying to get me to start a podcast over there. And I just got one at the end of September from them about it. And I'm like, how do you tell me come sign up? And then literally a week later, you're like, never mind, we don't exist anymore. And we're gonna do a Nikki live next week over there. So if you would like to join us for that, it's $3 a month for the Barb's tier. Any content that has anything to do with Nikki, I make sure that the Barbs have access to it, and then we do lives twice a month. But I was just saying at this point, she just needs to create her own app and do her shows and all of her stuff through that. That way she's not, dealing with the politics of apps and, whether or not they're going to survive in the long run. I know everybody kept being like, oh my God, go to Station Head. Do y'all forget that Station Head is owned by people who are in deep with Atlantic? So why do you think that all those streaming parties that you guys have over there and people are constantly hyping it up and being like, oh, they count towards streams now, but the amount of streaming parties that people have, you would think Nikki would be number one, but she isn't because they're not counting her shit correctly. Like, they're gonna sabotage her over there. She needs to not go on Station Head. And just in general, she needs to have her own app so that way nobody can mess with it. She has complete control over it. And then on top of it, because let me tell you, this is something that some people are doing now, so also be careful, okay? Because there's a few people out there that have been the subject of people trying to like start hate trains against them or whatever. And so what they have done is gone and made apps, and just we'll use Biggie as an example since I'm wearing a shirt, you know, and it'll be like notorious BIG is horrible.com. And then when you go on there, you think it's a full hater site. And guess what? You log in, you leave your little comments being like, yeah, he's fat and I can't stand him. Well, it's the notorious BIG is the one that owns the fucking website, and his team is collecting all of the information off of the people that are slandering them so that they are aware of, okay, well, this is the person that's going around and defaming me, or if it's their team, our client, and they're using that information so that they can go and sue people and do things about stopping that kind of stuff. So that's why I was like, for Nikki, she could use it to her benefit and be like, well, guess what? Now I have all your info, and I see that Lotto and Carlos are sitting here stalking me and listening to every damn, you know, thing I put out or whatever. So, you know, it would benefit her so much in so many different ways. And then she can make sure that it's available everywhere and not only in the United States and only to people that have a certain kind of cell phone, you know, or a certain kind of whatever. So I think that she needs to just do that because, you know, if we've learned anything from Kanye, owning your own stuff is very important. Oh, you were feeling way too spicy when you woke up? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I don't even use Stationhead anymore. I just have my overnight Spotify streaming playlist. Exactly. I know Nikki's tired. And I mean, that was the thing too. It's that they used her to blow that app up. I mean, that's really like unfair to people like her and Joe Budden and, you know, some of the other big names, whether they're actual artists or just really known like podcasts and creators, because when, you know, there's been stuff where it's like, oh, like I could take everybody over to this new thing, but you lose half your audience when you do that. And then your audience gets tired of following you around from platform to platform to platform too. And so, and then, you know, as a creator, and then you got to go create all this extra content and you got to do it all these different places, and it's exhausting. So that's just so unfair for them to do that to people and to get them to go over there and create all this content, bring their audience over, only for them to have to be like, okay guys, well now let's go over here instead because this is where I'm gonna be at now. And then you're also, if you did happen to pick up any fans from, you know, AMP or whatever like platform that you're on that pulls that stuff, and maybe you do get some random fans that wouldn't have found you or cared to follow you somewhere else, now you're risking losing them because of that too. So it's just, it's not like as easy or not a big deal that people think it is. So yep, read your contracts, Carson, for sure. So and you guys, I have to tell you, there's this cat outside. It's one of those indoor outdoor cats. It's got a collar on it and a little name tag. From what I could see on the name tag, it looks like the cat's name is Angel. It is anything but. I call it Carlos because it's come on my patio and tried to start shit with Whitney through the sliding door. It will not leave the kittens alone. And Yesterday morning, I went to go feed them, and it comes over and wanted to start shit with them again. And all of the other cats ran behind me, and I have like the biggest, bloodiest scratch across the top of my foot because the little kitty that has one eye, I named her Faith Michaela Jackson, because y'all know I be naming all of the animals after my favorite artists. So that's for Faith Evans and obviously Michael Jackson. She dug her claw into my foot trying to get the hell away from that cat because it started hissing at them. Onika hissed right back at it and lunged at it. She chased it all the way up a tree. This is one of those cats that's like really big anyways. And Onika is so much smaller than even the kittens because the kittens are all like almost 5 months old. They're about 4.5 months old right now. And she literally looks like she's probably like 2 months old in comparison to the rest of them. So the fact that she's just like not that much bigger than my hand, and there's this cat that probably weighs like 20 pounds, and she literally chased it all the way up the freaking tree. It was so funny. So, and then this morning I looked out the window and I see Carlos was back out there trying to, you know, hide behind a tree and spy on the kittens to like lunge at them again. And I was just like, see, this is why we're calling you Carlos, because you can't leave anybody alone and you're always trying to start crap where you don't belong. She might throw a mic at me though. Maybe. Oh, well, this just happened literally yesterday morning, Carson, so it's gonna take a week before it's all healed, but I definitely came upstairs and put disinfectant and Neosporin on it, since obviously, you know, feral cats can have germies, and that was the only thing that I was worried about, especially since she does have the messed up eye, because me and my neighbor offered to pay for the vet bill to go get her taken care of, which from the vets I called, they said that they're probably gonna have to take her whole eye out and just sew that side shut. But we were just talking about how are we gonna trap her to do that. So, and then we have another kitty that I call Tyler the creator, and he is the little lover boy, and he was all about getting all the pets this morning. And there's a tuxedo kitty that I called Chance after Chance the Rapper, and I'm sitting there scratching Tyler's ears and all this, in which this is huge progress from the cats that wouldn't even let you touch him a week ago, that now he's like, oh, I want to rub all over you and get all the pets. And he literally was like sitting there letting me pet him for 10 minutes straight. And Chance just goes up to him and he's like looking at him, and he just starts swatting him in the face like, why are you letting that lady touch you? And he just kept hitting him and hitting him. Tyler did not even react. He was in his own little blissful world getting ear and chin scratches. It was so funny. So I do like Chance the Rapper and Tyler the Creator's music. I wasn't actually even planning on calling any of them. Like, the reason why I picked Chance was because I was like, that could be either a boy or a girl name anyways. And I wasn't 100% sure until after I started calling it Chance that it was a boy. Because it's really hard to be able to tell, you know, with kittens if they're boys or girls anyways, especially with feral ones that weren't letting you get all that close to them until right this last couple days. So, and Tyler, honestly, that name just flew out of my mouth one day, and he came right up to me, and so I was just like, okay, well, now your name's Tyler. I think probably because I was listening to Kanye right before I got out of the car when that happened. Because I was gonna try to name all the cats like good music artists, but then I was like I just kind of felt out all their personalities and gave them the names based off of like what their personalities felt like. So, and it's funny because if you see me, I go outside to take out the trash, to get anything out of the car. I'm walking and there's 6 kittens just following me everywhere. Like somebody told me I was the cat whisperer yesterday because now they're all just wherever I go. They're like, "Hi, lady. We're used to you now." So, but no, Tyler the Creator does make really good music. Well, what happened with her is it was like a cherry eye at first, then it started bulging out of her head to where you could see it really sticking out, and now it's completely recessed into her head and her eye is like stuck closed. And I did look at her because she let me get close enough that I could like see, you know, kind of what was going on around it. It's like the inside of it's barely open, but the whole thing looks like a cataract. But she doesn't have like, it's not like weeping or anything like that. Asshole cat that used to beat up Whitney all the time, that's their dad and their grandpa. And he tried to get rid of her, and that's how that happened to her, poor thing. So, did Whitney see it? No. Well, I mean, she sees me interacting with them all outside and stuff through the window. And she knows, obviously, like, she sees me feed them. So, I'm sure she probably saw me petting him. And I know I smelled like him when I came inside, but she didn't act any differently. So, honestly, when I came in yesterday because I had to walk over to pick up kiddo from school since my car took a shit on me. I pet like probably 15 cats between like leaving the house and coming back in because I just kept running into cats everywhere on my way and they all like wanted me to pet them. So, and I did. So, and she smelled me when I came in, but she didn't really act like anything was like that big of a deal. She just went right back to sleep. So, I mean, I hope that we can with her, but the problem is it's been like this for a month and a half. And that's the thing, like they were so freaking feral and it wouldn't come near anybody. And I know that the neighbor that I did talk to yesterday, she said that she tried to trap them when they were younger and like none of them would go in the trap. And so that's why we were trying to figure out like how are we gonna catch her, because this is the problem. We don't have place, like all the rescues and fosters near me are completely full. I've been calling around everywhere. So, you know, that's where the tricky thing is that if we do trap any of them, it's like we don't have anywhere to take them. And then once cats see that one got trapped, they probably won't go near the trap, you know. So that's why we're trying to get them to be friendly enough so we can grab them. Like, honestly, like, I could probably pick Tyler up if I wanted to and carry him off with me wherever. But, like, he's the only one that really lets me get that close to him. The other black tabby cat is the other one that'll let me touch it a bit, but nowhere near as much as Tyler lets me. So yeah, I when I was trying to figure out, you know, what I was going to do with Whitney when she first started coming around, I did a lot of research on feral cats and the differences between them and stray cats and everything. So I've been just doing that, you know. I got them used to, like, I feed them, I stand there with them, all that, but it's hard. So Thank you, young Nicholas style ridiculous. So, all right, guys, let's get into our subjects for today. So, the City Girls apparently also have an album dropping this month. Are you guys excited about that? Because all I kept seeing was everybody saying, like, oh, I just want JT to go solo. Which I feel like, I know, like, because there's kind of this, like, you know, conundrum when we get towards the end of the year of you don't want to, you know, you got to drop your album by a certain point because then we get into Christmas season and then it turns into let's all listen to Christmas music and then you might as well just wait until the next year. But it's like between Doja just dropped hers, we got Drake, Nicki's coming. Lil Wayne just dropped a mixtape and he's gonna drop the Carter 6 anytime now. And so it's like, even if they put out like the best album of their career, I just kind of feel like it's gonna get lost in the sauce of everything. But I also kind of get the feeling that neither one of them really gives a shit about like charting so much either. Which Miami needs to stop being lazy just because she's got, you know, her little bearding contract with Diddle Bump going on. Because look at, you know, I mean, Cassie didn't really have a choice. Like, he didn't let her have a job and work unless it was something that benefited him somehow. But look at, you know, Cassie, we don't really check for her like that so much anymore. And she's kind of more of a model and an influencer because she was taken out of the game for so long. And that's the problem, you know, unless you are like the Rolling Stones or Sade or some, you know, or Nicki Minaj, where you're such an icon and a legend and people, you know, will give you the grace to take a while before you release new music. But Cassie wasn't in that position, so it's so hard when you like leave and then try to come back later and put something out. So, well, do you notice though, this is why the industry keeps picking people that they know are so desperate to get out of their situations, right? Because then they're easier to control. So when it is somebody that is a Carisha or, you know, a Sexy Red or Carlos, where, you know, especially Carlos is a good example of that too, where it's like, you don't want to be in the strip club anymore, but what else are you going to do? Go work at the El Pollo Loco drive-through window? Like, because you don't have an education or, you know, any kind of a career outside of anything. So it's like they're all gung-ho to get to work and do whatever the industry wants from them. But then once they get to that place of, oh, well, I'm getting endorsements and I have money and I have a certain level of fame. And then, you know, it's like they get lazy because deep down inside, it was only ever about, let me just elevate myself and get the bag. And then once they get the bag, the drive and the motivation goes away. Whereas when you were really doing this because you love it and because it drives you and this is something that you've really wanted to do forever and you're a real talented creative person, the money is not going to change your love of creating music. It doesn't matter if you made $1 billion off of your last album. If you still are like, I love creating music and being an artist, you're going to still keep dropping music, right? And maybe at that point, then it becomes, I don't have to worry so much about making radio hits and billboards and all of that. I can really, truly create from my heart and soul and really look at it as art because I don't have to depend on it to make me money. but it's not going to stop you from working. Just, it's, you know, that's where the industry keeps messing up, because it's like, yeah, they might be more controllable to a point, but also they burn out and wear out faster, and they get lazy and entitled. Exactly. I mean, if anybody has earned the right to say, I'm not going to do this shit anymore, it's not worth it, or I made enough money, I don't gotta work anymore, it's people like Nicki and Kanye, and let's be honest too, even Beyonce. You know, look at Rihanna. Like, she didn't find joy in putting out music so much anymore. So she pivoted herself into, you know, the brand owner and the CEO, and that is making her happy right now. And, but all of those people, they more than made enough money that they could have said, well, I'm going to go buy a house in the Turks and Caicos and completely disappear from public life and retire, and nobody's ever going to hear from me or see me again, and I'm going to be good forever and still eat. But they just, you know, they continue to create because it's in their heart, it's their soul. They're driven to do this because they're really truly artists. So Rihanna just laughs at orders, right? So, but let's see what the cards have to say about this. Spirit, please tell me what's going to happen with this next album drop with this girl group known as the City Girls. Thank you. So you think it's going to flop, Hannah? I mean, that's why I said, we'll see how the cards say, but I wasn't feeling great about it. Okay, so this is probably going to be, unless somebody really forces them to, which I don't feel like they're going to, this is going to be the last, like, album that we get out of the two of them together. So, and this is the thing, it's like there wasn't enough work being put into this. Also, wouldn't you think too that, especially given, because remember, like, the way that their previous album came out, wasn't it leaked or something like that? Like, it just had like the worst rollout anyways, and it really didn't do much because of that. So you would think this time around it would be about trying to have a better rollout, and you know, it's like they just kept hinting that something was coming, but they haven't really done a whole lot. So that's also where it's like, if all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're gonna drop an album in 2 weeks, it's like, shouldn't you have done more of a press run for that? Like, at least done a few interviews with radio or something. And it's, again, there's not enough like promotion, there's not enough going out there and like putting the effort in to make this be more successful. They're going to be battling a lot of criticism against this too. I do not see it being very well received. I feel it being one of those things where there's like, you know, 2 songs that are half okay, and then everybody else being like, this wasn't in, and continuing with We need JT to go solo. This is enough. We don't care about the city girls anymore. We've outgrown that. And I mean, I just keep feeling like Miami getting a lot of criticism as far as this goes. And, you know, people say this sometimes anyways, but I feel like even more we're going to hear this about how people feel like JT has to constantly dumb herself down and hold herself back, because if she really fully put everything into her verses, then Miami sounds like even more of a joke next to her, like on this song. I mean, it's bad enough. Like, let's be honest. When you really truly sit there and you don't get caught up in the beat or the catchy little chorus or whatever, and you really truly listen to whether they're staying on beat, what they're saying, how they sound, it does always sound like, oh my God, why is, like, you know, it's like, it's a, you can tell like Carisha sucks compared to JT, and it makes it even worse when you listen to JT rap and then you listen to Carisha try to rap with her thick tongue. It's a joke, you know, and it makes her look bad. And so I do see where people say like they feel like JT dumbs herself down to kind of make it less bad for Carisha. And I feel like that's what's really, we're going to hear so much of that. And then people being like, we're tired of JT having to hold back to carry Carisha. So we need her to just be, you know, her own artist. But we've got the Eight of Cups here of them both walking away from this and really fully moving on to pursue other ventures. Also, once this really happens, you guys, you know, because we've talked before about Carisha really is not anybody's friend, but she certainly is not really JT's real friend. The way that, you know, JT's always got Carisha's back, and then Carisha's always, you know, suddenly, oh, I was taking a nap. Every time that anybody wants to start with JT, Carisha was always taking a nap. And she just woke up, just happened to wake up once the drama ended, you know, and then she'll just be like, oh, I was asleep, what happened? And like, you know, tries not to get involved because she doesn't really give two shits. It's not because, and this is the thing, it's not because Carisha's like, oh, well, I'm actually cool with that person and I don't want to get in the middle of it. It's because Carisha really, truly does not give a fuck about JT, and deep down inside, she is jealous of her. So she doesn't want to defend her. So Carisha's very narcissistic, whereas JT is more empathic, which is why she has a harder time like being in the public eye too, whereas Carisha thrives in it. So once JT is able to move on and really put out her own stuff, that's where we're going to see the jealousy that Carisha has really rear its ugly head. Because it is talking about, like, oh, like, liking mean tweets, saying little, you know, snarky barbs, but being more bold with it. And so where people can't deny that there's, you know, she's not on the same side. And she doesn't really rock with JT like that anymore. I don't feel them like going toe to toe and like having a full blown like public fight and public beef. I think it's just gonna be nasty shit that comes from Carisha, and we just won't really see them like fucking with each other anymore after that. And let's not lie, some of Carisha's jealousy too stems from not only the fact that obviously she knows JT has a much better chance of a long-term career within the music industry, whereas Carisha doesn't. So Carisha is going to have to find other things, you know, to do to try to keep herself going and keep the same lifestyle up. So it's like she has to find other ways to make a bag and to keep herself relevant, whereas JT can just drop a song and that'll get people talking about her again, and especially if it's really good or whatever. And the fact that JT rocks with Nikki and Nikki rocks with JT also really puts, makes Carisha's ass itch, because she feels like, well, Diddy and Nikki are good. JT and Nikki are good. I'm the cheese that stands alone, that like me, Nikki never fully, like, she said she forgave me, but we're not really, cool like that. But she has nobody to but herself to blame for all of that anyways. I feel like JT, that's how she'll handle it. Like, she will put, some subs in her music. Maybe not subs, but more like an explanation. Like, people that you thought you could count on no longer there. Like, making a little like side reference that kind of confirms for everybody, like, oh, they're not cool anymore. So Hannah, do you really, like, this is the thing though. I don't know if I could even see like Carisha having a super successful yachting career, because it's like, outside of Diddy and outside of maybe a few other like guys here and there, like within like the rap industry, who really would like be like, oh, I want to pay for Carisha to come on my yacht and be my girlfriend for the week? Not the people that usually are willing to pay for stuff and fly people out, especially, in Dubai. Usually there's more of a demand for like Victoria's Secret angels and up and coming actresses. So, I mean, it's like, maybe you can find somebody that's got a fishing boat, but I don't know about a yacht. Imagine she's on those little fishing motorboats out in the bayou. That's her name. That's about as far as like she might get with that. Because, she doesn't know how to like behave herself. And that's where it's like, maybe she can like do OnlyFans with Sukiyana or something, but isn't this funny though? Like, do you guys not notice that everybody that wanted to go against Nikki, look at how things have all turned out for them? They constantly are having relationship problems. Their music is flopping, they're doing freaking ads for chicken seasoning and Uggs, which I don't know why on God's green earth Instagram decided to throw Carlos's little ad post in my feed that she did with Uggs, but as I was trying to click like not interested and report it for violence, because yes, that's my secret Karen behavior. Every time that Mucus and Carlos show up on my feed, like when Instagram tries to push them on me, I report them for spam or violence or bullying. Anyways, like I accidentally opened up the comments and all of the comments were like, how dare you promote animal cruelty? Do you not know that they kill and shave sheep for their skin to make these boots? And somebody said, and this was the funniest part, they said, did you know that there is non-animal cruelty free versions of these that they sell at Walmart? Didn't you do a Walmart ad? Why couldn't you promote those instead? And I was just laughing, imagining Carlos showing everybody her little ads and her little outfits that she made out of her what's the great value version of Uggs that she got at Walmart. No, that's good. Do the same. Listen, every damn ad, the Instagram and anything that I'm not like following that they want to shove in my feed, I be reporting it anyways. Not for normal people because I know that they don't have anything to do with that and that was just Instagram's doing. But you know, when it's all these like, oh, oil of Olay or whatever, I'm like, why? If I want to get a Dove ad suggested to me, I don't want it on freaking Instagram. Like, what the hell? So that's what I saw people saying too, that they skinned them alive, but people were eating her up. So it fits for her because she tortures people on a daily basis. She does. But I mean, once again, look at Nikki had a whole entire collection with Fendi in the middle of a hate train. She was in Marc Jacobs ads. Karl Lagerfeld personally styled her for a whole entire magazine. And then there's Carlos doing ads for Walmart, and she had a Fashion Nova collection, and now she's promoting Uggs. Oh, I forgot, and Lotto's doing ads for cough drops now. Why? Who associates Lotto with cough drops, and how does that make sense? And then she said that they have motivational, inspirational messages on the cough drop wrappers. When you have a cold and you just grab a damn cough drop, the last thing that you're doing is checking for an inspirational message from 21 Savage's Mistress so that you can feel better. Like the last week and a half when I've been sick with RSV, the last thing that if somebody had came and been like, here's a cough drop and there's a special message from Lotto in it, I would have thrown it at them and then saged my whole house and made them leave. Because obviously you're trying to put some juju on me or something. It's so embarrassing. You know what? Do you know what endorsement Carlos and Mucus need? Kleenex, because they're always fucking crying. That's the collaboration that would make sense for either one of them. A Kleenex commercial. The next time the barbs make you cry when you're scrolling through Twitter stalking Nicki Minaj, use my favorite band of tissues to wipe up my tears. Kleenex. And did you know that they have lotion built in them? So if you do happen to spend hours crying because you also found out that your husband cheated on you again, you won't dry out your face, wiping away those tears and blowing your nose. It's the perfect endorsement for them. So those 360s are definitely making them desperate. Like, really? That's what you have to... That's what you have to resort to because your music doesn't sell anyways. But on top of it, you're in a 360, so even if it did sell, you wouldn't see anything back from it. And... so you have to shill for anything and everything that's willing to give you a check so you can keep the lights on. In Carlos' case, it is hours on the toilet. Well, then she could also get a commercial for Charmin flushable wipes. When you have diarrhea because you were so desperate to promote a song that nobody cares about, that you ate all of the spicy wings on Hot Ones and caught diarrhea for days, and your asshole's on fire that you can't dare to touch it with any more regular tissue, Cottonelle flushable wipes. And then she could also promote some Tux pads to soothe. Maybe some Preparation H, in case all that struggling on the toilet got some hemorrhoids going. Exactly. That's the thing that's so funny, is that she really tries to act like she's so rich and that she really can be right up there with Nikki. Yet you're in a 360, boo-boo. How does she wipe with them nails? You know what? She probably wraps everything around a stick. I don't know. No, but she just gives us heartburn, young Nicholas. I don't know that Carlos gets heartburn, but she gives us heartburn. So we would not buy any heartburn medicine that she pushes. So it's like, no. That just sounds nasty anyways. Like, when you really think about it, alcoholic flavored whipped cream, doesn't that sound disgusting? Because you know, alcohol, regardless of what it is in, it always has an aftertaste. So to have that aftertaste on artificially sweetened and flavored whipped cream that's also gonna have an aftertaste, it just sounds to me like it's gonna taste very chemically and disgusting. I know she spends a lot of money on tissue. She probably does. Carlos strikes me as the type of person that she doesn't care if she gets shit under her nails. Well, she was talking about that she uses her nails to pick her kids' boogers in that Walmart ad. So, poor kids. It's $20? Oh, hell no. You can still get a decent bottle of wine for $20. And you can get 2 bottles of Burnett's vodka for 20 bucks. Or a whole bottle of Captain Morgan spiced rum. So, well, no, they're supposed to be spiked, but anything that's spiked, like, I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I can always taste the alcohol in it. Like White Claws, I don't know how the hell people drink that shit. Oh my God, the aftertaste and the alcohol taste in it is so gross to me. Like, the only things that I could, like, choke down like that is, like, a Mike's Hard Lemonade, and even at that, like, those sometimes are, like, the aftertaste, like, gets to me. I can't stand artificially flavored stuff like that. Although I will, like, drink a michelada. Those are bomb. But it has to be the extra spicy ones, and I have to add also more hot sauce and stuff to it on my own too. Because I like mine spicy. Like, honestly, my mouth be watering. Like, I didn't watch her Hot Ones episodes, but sometimes when I have gone and watched, like, those Hot Ones episodes, I'm like, ooh, I want some hot wings. Like, it just makes me want hot wings. Like, somebody will be literally running around in a circle, crying, screaming because they said that it was so hot, and all I'm sitting there thinking about is, like, I wonder if I have enough money in my account to, like, get some wings delivered. It just makes me crave hot wings. It doesn't make me be like, oh my God, those poor things, or anything like that. And then for the rest of the day, anything I eat, I just want spicy food after that. I love spicy food though. So, ooh, you've never had a michelada? They're so good, Lindsay. If you like, you know, anything with, like, the chili powder, Oh my God, what is the name of that stuff that Tahini? I had the biggest brain fart right now. Hot sauce. And if you, because it doesn't taste like a regular beer, like once you add all this stuff to it. But even just getting like the little Budweiser ones that are already like made like that are still like good too. But if I do get the Budweiser ones, that's where it's like I take it home and, you know, do my own stuff to it. Oh, I love me a spicy Bloody Mary. The hot one sauce is the tastiest. Is it? I was kind of tempted to like order some. Which one's the best? Because I know they have a bunch of different flavors. Because now I'm like, maybe I'll get myself some for my birthday or something. Oh my goodness. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to give any views to anything for her. So it came up on my recommended and I just skipped past it because I was like, nope, I don't want to watch anything with her. If you guys have any questions about the City Girls, drop them down below. But I don't, like, this is the thing. I don't give views even when it's not on like her channel, like to other stuff, unless it's dragging her or exposing her, because it's like I don't want to encourage Hot Ones and its production company to think that Carlos is that popular that we want to keep seeing her. Like, please let that be the one and only time that she ever goes on that show. The original is good and the last dab, okay. Yeah, put a question in front of your question if you guys have any questions about the City Girls. So, just about them, guys. I'm not going to do any questions about Miami or JT's relationships. Just about the two of them and their music careers. Because we still have 2 other topics to get to, and I do have to get off of here at a certain time. You know why, Nicholas? Because Spirit just straight up said because they know that Miami, it's like, it's not going to do anything for her. And it's not going to do anything for the group. If she puts, you know, if they, whether it's her being a feature on somebody else's song or her putting out her own song. So that's why. But JT actually, you know, she will sell. She does make noise. She does get listens and streams. And so that's why they do that in order, because if it's credited as the City Girls, then they can, you know, make it for streaming. So then if you just type in the City Girls or you know, follow them, then that will stream and count towards them. And it's just the marketing part of it. Which again tells you, you know, Miami she doesn't move anything when it comes to music. I honestly want to hear JT and Uzi put out a song together. Like, usually when people are like a couple and they put out a song together, sometimes it's just like corny. But honestly, and I'm not really like into like Lil Uzi's music, but I think that they're like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it would be cool because I think both of them have such a different style and different voices. I would love to see like what they could put together. I think that that would actually be something good. I know, I am shocked that it hasn't happened yet, but Spirit's saying the only reason why it hasn't is because JT doesn't want any part of her career or her success to be credited to anybody but herself. Because she's already had to deal with that where people were trying to act like, because she was locked up when they first blew up, you know, and Miami kind of was carrying everything for her. And it's like she had to kind of overcome that. And so I feel like she, you know, because think about it. Like for so long and even now, Selena Gomez and Justin Bieber, but especially when it comes to Selena Gomez, every freaking article that you ever see about her, they have to mention that she's Justin Bieber's ex. Even when it was literally about like her getting the kidney transplant. Oh, Selena Gomez. They'll say Selena Gomez, Justin Bieber's ex, was at Miami Fashion Week sitting front row at this design. You're like, why does Justin Bieber need to be mentioned in connection to her name? So I understand that for JT, you know, and Uzi is such a big artist right now, and it's like, yeah, it would elevate her, but then God forbid, you know, they do break up or anything, and then people are gonna, or if people want to use something against her. Oh, well, you only made it as a solo artist because Lil Uzi was helping you, you know, and then she's gonna be tied so much into him. And so Spirit's saying she wants to really like set herself up and set herself apart before she would do something like that. Well, I understand it's definitely because if people, you know, look for Justin Bieber, then that article comes up. But I'm also saying, you know, and the flip side of that, like, I wouldn't want every time people think about me or talk about me or go watch my video to be like thinking about my baby daddy and his name being connected to it. Like, no, I'm my own person and I'm not with that person. We've both moved on with our lives. Like, that would be really annoying. So I wouldn't want that. Uzi and Young Miami don't get along. Well, that just made me kind of like Uzi a little bit more. Young Miami just annoys the hell out of me. So, is it raining? No, my AC just kicked on. It's not raining, it's just that hot that it's noon and the AC is already going off. And if I turn it off, then we will probably melt or my phone will overheat. I mean, that's sometimes too where it's like, I know that like I'll be okay if I don't turn on the AC, but I still like turn it, you know, set the thermostat to something because the iPhones like heat up so freaking easy, and then I have it, you know, the ring light right behind it, so I'm always worried about it overheating. Uzi yelled at her on live. I'm gonna have to go find this clip somewhere and watch it. So, all right, guys, are you ready to move on? We've got, did Travis Barker and Kim Kardashian hook up with each other? Okay, first of all, I just want to say this because I saw people saying, oh, they're going back to that Hollywood medium guy. Like, I guess he did some reading for Khloe and Kylie and said that, oh, there's a guy that's going to come in and it's like he tried to date one sister, it didn't work out, and then he ends up with the other one and they're like, we know who that is. That was like 10 years ago or something like that. It's been years. That was about Travis Scott and him having dated Kendall first and then ending up with Kylie. But now people are trying to say it was Travis Barker. I don't think, because Travis Barker wasn't even in the picture then. But the whole point of it is that this is a family who has no problem dating somebody after their sibling did. Which is weird as F to me because I don't, even if you dated somebody I know, like we weren't even, we're not related, we're not even friends. I just know who that girl is. I don't want you. That's still too close for comfort for me. Like, hell no. Much less I want to marry or have babies by somebody that used to hook up with my sister. That's just freaking weird. And also, I've read Travis's book. He clearly says in the book that he moved to Calabasas because he was obsessed with Kim. And then I saw a clip on YouTube that Creepy Chris was trying to say that Travis told her that he moved to Calabasas because he was in love with Courtney. And I'm like, there's a whole book out there that says the complete opposite. So, Chris, stop trying with your bullshit, trying to rewrite history constantly. Because I am the girl that skipped prom to go to a Blink-182 concert instead. So, he was, well, Travis also dated Rita Ora right around the same time that Rob did. I can't remember if it was before or after, but you know, I don't know if you guys remember that when Rob dated Rita Ora, when they broke up, he went on a rampage on Twitter and said that she cheated on him with 27 guys in like 2 months or something. So, I mean, the game said that he hooked up with both Chloe and Kim. I don't know if I would have claimed Chloe if I was him, but they're always lying for a storyline and to rewrite some damn history. Yeah, I mean, well, because Kim's a narcissist and she just only wants, you know, everybody to bow down to her and for her to be number one. One of Chloe's old faces was cute, though. That was like 15 versions of that face ago, though. Now she looks like Michael Jackson after, you know, when he had to tape his nose up. And everybody knows I love Michael Jackson, you know, but we tell the truth over here regardless of how much we do or don't like somebody. So we can admit, even Michael Jackson's spirit admits that, you know, his plastic surgery did not turn out the best. But she definitely should have left herself alone. Like, her face was cute, like, post her and Lamar. I think that was around the time that she really started getting, like, lip injections and fillers and got, like, her first nose job. Like, she should have just left it there. That was a cute face. After that, it was just, like, way too much. Just wait. Kim's gonna look weird as hell the older that she gets. Because then she's going to be doing all kinds of facelifts and everything, trying to maintain, and she's going to end up looking real weird. I think her reasons are, Hannah, not Jeffree Star was the inspiration. Well, remember when Kylie tried to turn herself into White China because she was dating Tyga? I mean, you know, maybe Chloe figures if that's what Trash Can likes, then she should turn herself into that, and that's what's going to make him stop cheating. Oh, it'll be worse than Madonna, Lindsay. It'll be worse. Just wait. I wonder if they regret their surgeries and the trends they started. No, because you know why? They still think that they were ugly before all of that. They all have body dysmorphia, obviously. And it made them all of the money and got them all the attention for them to be where they are right now. So they just think of it as, oh, well, you know, that was just my style then, and now it's evolved. And, you know, they try to lie and BS and act like, oh, we just worked out a bunch and lost a bunch of weight, and that's why my butt's smaller. When you were constantly working out and trying to lose weight, and that was the excuse you gave as to why your butt got as big as it did in the first place. So that doesn't make any sense when you really think about it, because it's like when people were questioning, I didn't get surgery on my butt. I've been doing all these workouts. I do weighted lunges and mountain climbers, and then you can't actually do any of those exercises when Ellen tells you to do them. And now it's those same exercises that supposedly built your butt that made it smaller. Okay. Come up with better lies, guys. I swear. Like, you don't know, I don't want to work for them. But I was going to say, at this point, they need to fire Tracy Romulus and hire one of us, because we could do a way better job of their PR and concocting all of their lies. So, okay. Listen. Did Travis hook up with Kim? Yes, the fuck he did. Okay. He totally did, because we all know, what does the King of Wands card mean? It means, you know, for us over here, is somebody that can't keep it in their pants. And the Seven of Swords is the same as the Seven of Cups, as in there's not a lot of honesty. And what Spirit's saying is, when he wrote that, where he was like acting like, oh, it was just, I really wanted to date Kim, but I was being respectful and nothing really happened. We just hung out a bunch of times. The whole reason why he's never like told the whole truth of that is because of all the drama that it would have created. And because there was still a part of him that was hoping that him and Kim still had another shot in the future. And it's like, if I did tell everybody what really happened, then I'm shutting off the opportunity to ever hook up with you again. So it was like, I just made it seem like, oh, like we hung out a few times and then I went back to my wife and that was it. This was around the Reggie Bush era too. So Kim was hopping back and forth between Travis and Reggie. So I also feel like she begged him to never tell anybody, because she didn't want it to mess up her chances of getting back together with Reggie if that, you know, happened. Obviously, Kim moved on. She married Kanye. Travis saw her as somebody that appeared to be happy in her new life. So he gave up on it and then moved on to pursue Courtney. So I'll get to questions after this, guys. Let me finish going through this, because a lot of times whatever questions you guys have get answered by Spirit the first go round anyways. However, I have said this constantly, like, y'all need to stop thinking that Travis is this great and wonderful person. He is not. He is a narcissist. What he is doing to Courtney is called love bombing. Just wait until he starts treating her like he treated Shanna, because he was the same way with Shanna. And like I've always said, it's a weird as fuck that you go and recreate all the same things that you were doing with your first wife. True Romance was Shanna and his, movie. They named their daughter Alabama for it, and now it's Courtney and his thing. He used to give Shanna red roses all the time. Now that's him and Courtney's thing. I was waiting for them to pop out with the whole Nightmare Before Christmas stuff so that they can completely complete it. Because I used to watch the show, so I know all their little stuff that they were into and everything. But that's weird as hell. Like, no, if some guy tried to come and recycle shit that he did with his ex with me, I'd be like, you're not over her, and like, I don't want to be with you. Because that's fucking creepy. Why can't we create our own stuff? It's cool if you liked a movie, but to make that, like, oh, we based our wedding off of it. We did all these pictures. It's fucking creepy. Too far. So this was always about, look, Travis has 2 kids that are about to come up in the industry. Both of his kids are trying to make music. And as much as he has his fan base from back in the day, that's not the fans that would support Alabama and Landon's music. So he needed them to be pushed more to the mainstream and a younger audience. And so it was like, well, if I date Courtney, that brings all this attention over here onto me and my kids and what we're trying to do. And it puts us back in the spotlight and gets us all this attention. And then I get all of the benefit of it because it's showing up that through his marriage with Courtney, his relationship with her, he gets to be in the King of Pentacles position. I am getting all the benefits. I get to be on the show. We're going to get spinoffs. People are going to go watch our Blink 182 reunion tour because they want to see if Courtney and the family are going to be there. People are going to go listen and pay attention to whatever my kids got to sell, because it's all about putting myself in a position, because we have things that we need to be seen and money to make from it by portraying ourselves to be this happy family when really we are not. So, hey, hold on to the questions, guys. I'll take them in a minute, but let me finish. Well, I think that this is the problem with that whole situation too, is that Courtney has leaned so hard into this to prove a point for all the people that just thought that Courtney was this little sad sack that, got mistreated by Scott, for her family that she felt like doesn't give enough of a fuck about her. It's like, oh, I get to shove it in everybody's faces because it's like, look at how much this guy loves me. He's obsessed with me. And look at you in the corner miserable because you're getting another divorce, Kim. You want to keep hating on me. I'm happy over here, and it's like, oh, and Scott, you can never get it together. Well, screw you. I'm happy now. But Courtney's also doing it for not the right reasons, because it's all about, look at me and what I have, and not, neither one of them is really truly deep down inside in love with each other. But he definitely hooked up with Kim. That's for sure. They are, but this is why, because they have a narcissistic mother that constantly pins the kids against each other for her attention and made them compete with one another. So it's no surprise that they all feel like they're secretly in competition with one another. And, and I've said this a million times, Courtney can complain until the fucking cows come home that she hates all of this. She doesn't want fame. She doesn't want any of this shit. Why do you still keep going on the show? Why did you have to get a whole wedding special? Why did Dolce & Gabbana sponsor your wedding if you supposedly don't give two craps about any of this kind of stuff and this isn't the life that you wanted? Because she could have went and bought a place in Wyoming when Kanye wanted to get the hell away from everything and moved across the fucking field from him. She could have moved to the middle of nowhere in Nebraska or anywhere else. Like, Courtney's got enough money that she could have done that. She chooses because she still wants it and she still wants to compete with Kim. But this is the way that she does it, by trying to act like she's above everybody by complaining about it. Same reason why she stayed with Scott for so long. Because it was like, oh, well, I look like the good person automatically next to him. We all know he's gonna screw up again. And then Courtney gets all the attention and the sympathy points. Like, she's a payola and sympathy queen too. Let's not put that past her. I mean, if I hated my job, I wouldn't do it anymore. Normal people are like, I don't like the dentist's office that I work at anymore. And they go find another job. You don't bitch and complain for 10 years straight and then keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And on top of it, if you were so happy in your new life with your husband and all of this, like, wouldn't you want, like, to protect that, especially if you feel like the show and your family and that whole dynamic is such a toxic environment? Then wouldn't you want to protect this new good thing you have by not putting it in that environment? Like, that's what also doesn't make sense. Like, none of the stuff that she says makes any sense. It's all just BS that she wants to say because she needs something to complain about. That's Courtney's storyline. I'm gonna complain. So let's see what Kim thinks of all of this. None of them can unless they all go get some real therapy. And not, I mean, I don't know if they go to therapy or not. I just remember, like, one of the very few episodes that I ever tried to, like, fully watch of that show, they went to therapy. And Rob was, like, crying and saying that he gets left out. And Kim tried to turn everything around on everybody and was like, Mom just hit the jackpot. It's not like she was trying to do this to you, Rob. And then she told Chloe that Chloe was never there when their dad was dying and all this shit, and just turned everything on everybody else. And it was like, oh, well, there we go. So they need real therapy without Kim there to gaslight everybody. She's so narcissistic. She has no emotion unless she gets her cry stick out so she can cry about Kanye. Which, don't forget, guys, you know, every time that people are like, oh, Kris Jenner was crying or Kim was crying, they were just so emotional on this episode or wherever. Chris Humphries exposed them hoes in that divorce where he said that they will refilm scenes if Kim can't make herself cry, and that her and the mom use the cry sticks the actors use in movies to make themselves tear up, and they will make the producers redo a scene over and over until they feel like they cried enough and that it looked good on camera. So none of it's genuine. It's all scripted and BS. And that's also why I'm like, why would anybody watch that show that's supposedly a reality show when it's been, you know, come out that it's scripted and that everything's all plotted and planned ahead of time. Their therapy is love spells. Oh my God. Yes, and by the way, guys, if you want to book your own personal private reading with me, you can go to psychicbellalove.com, and until the 15th, you can get 45% off any one appointment with code Bella, all in caps, at checkout. And if you want to join us on Patreon, it is patreon.com/psychicbellalove. Mimi showed me yesterday that I have made like almost 6,000 posts over there in the not even 3 years we've been there. So to say that I am not active in there, you're just a fucking hater. Because we be getting busy, okay? Maybe some days I can't be as busy, but I always make up for it later. And we will have a live for Patreon tomorrow morning, our regular Patreon live, and then our Nikki live will be next week, probably Saturday. And we'll be back over on YouTube Tuesday and Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. That's our regular times that we go live each week. And we will be doing a special live on Wednesday on my backup channel to give Carlos the birthday party that she deserves. So, alrighty. Okay, this is the thing that's funny, is that Kim, outside of probably only ever Reggie Bush, doesn't date or marry people for love. She does it for the benefit. It's a business arrangement to her. Is this person going to elevate me? Does my career somehow benefit from this? So even when she was, you know, going around Travis and doing what she was doing with him, it was just because she was looking for somebody at that point in time, because this was before, you know, the Kardashian show even like took off. She was looking for somebody that was going to want to film with her because they were in talks to do the show. And somebody that was a bigger name than her to attach herself to catapult her, because all she did want was fame and she didn't care how she was going to get it at that time. So on top of that, she had a real bad jealousy of Paris. So it was like, well, because I mean, look at everything that Kim did to pop off her career. She basically copied from Paris. Paris had a S-tape. Kim has one. Paris has a reality show. Kim has one. Paris was going out to nightclubs and, you know, being seen on Robertson Boulevard and Melrose Avenue and getting paparazzi'd all the time. Kim had to do it. So to her, it was like, I grew up around you, but you blew up more than me, even though we both came from, like, you know, old Hollywood families, although obviously people knew the Hiltons much more than, you know, they did the Kardashian name. And so there was this real jealousy that was in her. And it made her feel like, you know, if she got to take things from Paris, it made her feel like, oh, well, I'm as good as Paris. I'm as popular as her. Like, I'm going to be as big of a star as her. She's not better than me. Actually, I'm better than her if her boyfriend wants me instead. So that was her motivations for being with Travis. It wasn't because she actually liked him. It wasn't any of that. It was just her trying to find somebody that she could cling on to at that point. as far as, you know, how she feels about Courtney, she does feel like Courtney got way in over her head and that Travis is going to end up hurting her. But unlike a sister who actually loves you and would sit you down and say, hey, you know, let's have a conversation about this. I got some concerns. You don't, you know, you don't need to be with this guy, or just take it slow, or be careful, or whatever. Kim's just sitting there like, oh, well, this isn't gonna work out for Courtney, ha ha ha, and just like, you know, laughs about it. And she's kind of in this like egotistical like position of, oh, well, I had all these guys first. I guess my sister's like my leftovers. Like, it still makes her feel like she's like above somebody if her sisters chase after a guy that she had or that tried to get with her first. So she really feels like this is going to crash and burn for Courtney. As far as, you know, was she jealous of Courtney? Yes, but not because of it being, oh, you got Travis and darn, I should have stayed with him because look at, he treats Courtney so good and I, you know, could have been on the receiving end of that. It's more so, oh, Courtney was getting all the attention and I was pissed that Courtney was getting all the attention and everybody was, you know, looking at her. I was pissed because Courtney was getting opportunities that I would want because I'm used to being the most important one. I'm used to being the one that everybody wants to work with or dress or whatever. And usually my sisters get the scraps. It was the jealousy from that, not because of anything else. And obviously, she was going through her own, you know, divorce. And again, it's not like a normal person that would be so heartbroken that this marriage to this man that you built your family with didn't work out and you're just so, you know, heartbroken and can't believe it and you have to, you know, grapple with that and overcome it. No, it's not that. It's because Kim really was pissed, because I've said this a bazillion times. The best that she could get to date was Skeet. Because if trust and believe that if Kim had been able to pull some dude, whether it was Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Tom Brady, any guy that seemed to have more fame, more money, more power, more anything, that she could have shown up with him to Courtney's wedding and showed off and been like, oh, look at me and Elon, we're on a date at a wedding. I'm just using Elon as an example. Oh, then we would have seen her, oh, so happy. She's so happy for her sister. She's so happy to be at her sister's wedding because she would have known I would have stolen the attention from Courtney, because everybody would be talking about Kim and Elon, you know, showing up at Courtney's wedding rather than Kim's here by herself with North wearing ugly outfits and everybody's paying attention to Courtney and, you know, her marriage and what she's doing. So she's, oh boy. Yes, they all have gross, horrible energy. Most of these celebrities do. That's the only reason, because I'm not inherently a card reader. That is the only reason why I use cards, because I don't want to fully tap into most of these people's energy myself. Because then I have to spend extra time trying to get it off of me and protect myself even more. So the cards are a barrier to that. So what questions we got for this? And then we'll wrap up with Sophie Turner and Joe Jonas real quick. Let me see what you guys were saying. Yeah, but their energy is very, very dark. I mean, on top of all of the magic and crap that they're constantly pulling, it's like, you know, you've got, like, other than Kim, when you really think about it, every last one of those kids has, like, horrendous self-esteem and insecurity issues. Rob doesn't even want to leave the house. Kylie, you know, is in competition with Carlos and Chloe. It's like a competition. Who can change their body and their face more times? Okay, let's see. Does Travis have any desire or feelings for Scum? Put question in front of your questions, guys. And we're only looking at Travis and Kim and Courtney. We're not. And Zay, that's something that we've already covered in Patreon, and it is not something that we can talk about on YouTube. Listen, I hate being censored, but there is so much stuff that we literally cannot discuss over here because it'll really take the channel down. But if you want to know about what Hollyweird is really about, you can join us on Patreon. I have explained over there everything and exposed all of them. And I'll just say, everybody always wants to get all, oh my God, Kanye said something about literally anything. But then what always happens, 2-3 years later, everybody's like, oh my God, you know what? I think Kanye was right after all. Like, yeah, really? People pick and choose when they want to believe Kanye, but he usually ends up being proven right. Which, did you guys hear the snippets of the song that him and Ty Dolla $ign were previewing? First of all, please God, let this song come out, because we know Kanye likes to make music and then never release it. It sounded so good. Oh my God. Like, everybody keeps saying that, like, all of the music that Kanye's been making is like college graduate era, like Kanye, and I am just so, I've loved all of Kanye's music. I even liked Donda, but I'm just really excited because I'm like, you know, the people that I like are all putting out music, and they're not catering to the TikTok crowd, so we're actually getting good music from them, it seems like, and I am so excited about that. Okay, this is the thing. Travis wasn't super, like, in love with Kim. I mean, he's always been looking, too, since, you know, him and Shanna's relationship ended, for his person that can put him on the map and bring him back to that place of fame and money that he was previously at, and to actually bring in more. So, you know, and at that time, Kim was cute, you know, so it was more like a sexual attraction, but also he was also looking at it as like, well, this could benefit me. So he moved on, you know, and gave up on it, because it's talking about having the Ace of Cups is in reverse. So there wasn't a real deep love there, but he felt like they had very good sexual chemistry. So it's like, I didn't want Kim to not want to come over and fuck me in the middle of the night anymore, basically, by like saying in the book what really happens. Plus, if he did say, because remember, he lied to Shanna and said that he didn't have an affair with Kim. So it's like, how are you going to sit there and tell your wife over and over, no, I didn't do something, but then, you know, you would turn around and admit it in your book 2 years later? Like, you can't. So it was just like, yeah, like, I kind of felt like I had to not, you know, say it because of those reasons, but not because he was in love with her and he moved on. He's dated a bazillion other people since then, so it was just more that at the time that he ended up with Courtney, she seemed like easy prey. Like, Courtney was right there. They were friends. It was easy, basically. Tyga's stripper music still hits? Yes, it does. So let's move on to Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner because I have to get off of here in the next 15 minutes. Because I got to call a client. So, what question? Just put, if you have any questions about Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, drop them down now since we're on limited time because I usually do lives for only like an hour and a half and this one's already 2 hours. And I'm running out of time. So, which, did you guys see that she did prove, she sent into the court some letter saying that was basically like Joe was writing it to these people saying like, oh, we want to buy your house and raise our kids there. And it was in the UK because he was trying to deny that like they were living in the UK or were going to or whatever. So he just seems like such a... Ugh. I don't know. I guess if you can't live in your truth, you walk around with anger towards women all the time, right? If you mean any of the other Jonas brothers, the answer is no, Lindsay. Hey, Soul. We're just wrapping up. We're doing Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Which also it's come out too, since he tried to portray her as like that she was out partying all the time while he was at home taking care of the kids alone. It's also come out that that other little band that he did with the Cake by the Ocean band, that they almost kicked him out because he was partying too much. So everything that he has tried to like use against her has like backfired in his freaking face. So bad. I'm just like, I love it. Because he's just really was like such a jackass. He surprise filed for divorce. He was trying to keep the kids away from her. He tried to smear her name. And now everything's just come right back to bite him and to prove him wrong. And I'm like, and that's what you get, motherfucker. So, you know, he really is just coming from this place of a Knight of Cups. We want to see a king. He's coming as in as a knight. It's like immature. Like, I just want to win. It's a power struggle to him. Rather than what is truly best for our kids. What's best for me? What's best for her? Because Spirit's saying, like, when it boils down to it, it's like, yeah, you guys both have, you know, careers that are in the entertainment industry. So there's travel and certain things that are going to take place and long hours at work. However, she's an actress. She can do 1 or 2 movies a year, work for 6 weeks at a time, and then be home with the kids the rest of the time. Whereas for him, he's going to be constantly going on tours and traveling and being away from the family. That it's like she can provide a more stable, consistent home for them. And she has been the more stable, consistent parent to them, is what Spirit's saying. But he's just one of these guys that the second that he's done with you, not only is it like, oh, like, you know, the relationship is over, he has to trash the person and burn the bridge on the way out. He can't ever leave with love and respect. It's always, I gotta like destroy you and everything that we had together and turn you into the bad guy and try to set myself up as this superior moral person or the better person. And he's extremely immature. Like, everything is always about him, what he wants, how he's, you know, going out in the world. Because here's Sophie showing up as the queen of coins and he's the knight of coins. It's like he's always the little kid, whereas she's the adult in the situation. She's the adult in this relationship. She's the one that was getting up in the middle of the night changing diapers. He wasn't. So he's gonna keep trying to spread shit about her in the media, but it's gonna still keep backfiring on him because he's the one that leaks the stories to TMZ and blogs and things like that. And then, you know, when they ask him for comments, he tries to be like, I just want respect, you guys. My family's breaking up. It's really important for me and my kids to have prayers and love right now, and like act like, oh, it's just so crazy that people want to say anything and I have nothing to do with that. You guys need to leave us alone. Like, such a fucking hypocrite, and it's all PR stunts for him. As far as why did he pick her, because she was obviously super into him. He needed to portray a certain image. He wanted kids. He knew that, you know, she would be a good parent, and it was like, okay, but Spirit saying he deep down inside, he never intended on staying with her forever. I mean, I don't think any man that really wants another man and marries a woman intends on staying with them forever either. Anyways, but it was always, you know, like we were never going to last in the long run. It was just, you're here for now. But this is going to show his true colors, and it's going to backfire on him, like I said, because a lot of people are really going to see him as somebody that they just, you know, it's like, I had one impression of you and that has completely been shattered, and now I'm seeing you as for who you really are. Like how we all, you know, kind of thought like Pacey was cool, and then, you know, him and his wife started talking about their relationship, and then it was like, okay, you're not cool. Like every little thing that we thought about you is completely wrong, and you're actually really freaking weird. And it's like, now we all see Joe Jonas is a dickhead for sure. Like, you know, and I think a lot of people are going to look back and be like, damn, you know, Taylor was right. I could see Joe with a Darren Chris type of a guy. Imagine he ends up with Clay Aiken. The guy from American Idol. That would be funny. Kevin's cool. He minds his own business. He doesn't really do crazy things to people, and he actually, you know, is living in his truth because he does like women. But Nick and Joe just need to come out of the freaking closet. I mean, does nobody think it's weird that Nick and Priyanka used a surrogate because they said that they didn't have time to try to have a baby the normal way because they were busy? And I was just thinking when I was reading that this was their excuse. I'm like, so how are you going to have time for the baby when it comes? Who's going to take care of this baby if you guys are so busy that you couldn't even be in the same room to try to make it? How's the baby going to get any attention once it is here? That was just the strangest thing to me. I mean, it's like, just tell the truth. Y'all don't be doing the do-do-do. And you couldn't force yourself to get it up to try to get her pregnant the normal way. So, and she was probably like, well, then why do I gotta ruin my body? Which, anyways, those eyebrows terrify me. They are interesting, but Spirit saying they're gonna be, listen, at the end of the day, you can fight back in court all day, every day with each other, you know. The judges, the mediators, they're always gonna, you know, beyond whatever each side has to say, they're always gonna pick what they feel is in the best interest of the kids, because custody and family court is, you know, all about what is for the kids' best interest and not just what do you want as the mom and what do you want as a dad. It's gonna end up being that, you know, they're probably gonna get some 50-50 split type of a thing, but that the kids end up living with the mom more than the dad. And like I said, this is just not gonna work out the way that he thinks that it's going to. It's just gonna make people dislike him more. Like, he just needs to go through the whole mediation process with her. Or, and this is the other thing too, in Florida courts, you can completely seal everything so that the rest of us don't see it. Look at Tom and Giselle. By the time, we never got a whole, oh, they're separated announcement. It was just like, oh, we're divorced. We've been divorced for a couple months now. Like, nobody, TMZ did not get any leaked court filing papers. Nobody saw if they were fighting over custody of the kids and who was going to get the cars in the house. You can do that. That's why a lot of celebrities file for divorce in Florida or want to, because it's a lot easier to conceal and seal everything up so that other people can't, you know, so the TMZ can't get a hold of it. There's a reason why he did not take that opportunity and do that, because again, this is all about, you know, that, oh, well, we're not together anymore and I have to destroy you. But again, it's just gonna blow up in his face the more that he pushes it. So exactly, you know, only the criminal stuff really remains unsealed. There's certain things that you can have sealed in California, but you can't completely conceal everything. But Florida is way easier for that. And I forget what other state it is. It might be Nevada. They also let you get divorced way faster too. Especially if you go through a private judge, like you can be fully divorced within 60 days. Whereas like other states will make you like live separately for an entire year before you can even file, which is, you know, such a pain in the ass when you really are just like completely done with somebody and you want to move on. So, oh, I'm sure that they will. I mean, that's the other thing too. How the hell are you a girl dad Like, that's the thing that makes me sick to my stomach, is when men have daughters and they can't even treat the mother of their kids with the most bare minimum of respect. And it's like, shouldn't you, seeing that little girl, like, and thinking about, wow, like, I would really want to, like, get rid of some guy if he treated my little girl bad. And that doesn't make you stop and think, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be so horrible to their mom, because they're going to see this and think that's how guys are allowed to treat women. And if you're not that self-aware, you don't need to be a parent. Because that's what a real parent is supposed to do. You understand that the way that I treat other people, my child is going to see that, and that's going to determine how they feel that they can treat other people, and what they in turn feel like they deserve. And then you're normalizing bad behavior, and then your kid's going to grow up and repeat those cycles. So it's giving ludicrous vibes, and he completely ousted her from their kids' lives. Well, I mean, and going back to Travis Barker, he cut Shanna out of the kids' lives. So, and I'm not saying that Shanna doesn't have her own issues. I'm just saying, you know, I also think that he did what a narcissist does, which is they try to use the kids against their partners, and it's a part of the whole narcissistic abuse and punishment cycle. So, but guys, we've been on here for 2 hours, and I have to go because I do have a client that I need to call. I love you all so much. If you would like for me to call you, you can go to psychicbellalove.com and use code Bella, all in caps, for 45% off. And that will get you your own appointment with me. If you would like more of my content, including things that we can never talk about over here, join us over on patreon.com/psychicbellalove. And if you just want to make sure that you are keeping up with all the notifications, since YouTube isn't doing good at that anymore, you can follow me on instagram.com/psychicbellalove, because I always post on my stories when I am going to be doing a live. So, and thank you to my mods. Thank you guys so much. And shout out to Miss Lindsay once again for all of the timestamps and all of the links that she's always over here working hard to provide for you guys. We really do appreciate that. And I hope that everybody else is having an amazing day as well. And I will see you guys next week. In the meantime, remember, you choose happiness, you choose joy, and you choose how you want your life to look and to go. Take your power back, spit in Satan's face, and remember that you are capable of great things and you deserve great things, and the only thing standing in your way is yourself. And once you get in alignment with believing that you can do the things, everything will work out. Because the universe is on your side and God is on your side. So I love you guys. Have a good one. Bye.